I'm on my way. The road to Bon Air Mountain, where the seasons of a simple time live forever. My friends are home up on Bon Air Mountain, and the treasures from my childhood are in the mountain air. Time stands still. I pass through Bon Air Mountain. I hear the mines from Buck Creek Hollow echo through the hills. My loved ones rest up on Bon Air Mountain. One day I will come home, never more to leave. And I remember the beauty of the bluebells that bloom in Blue Bottom. And my home, where I come from, way up on the mountain. And the cold log lanterns, winter quilts, and red hot stove pipes. Grandpa telling stories on Sunday after church.
In 1994, the administration and teachers of Bondycroft Elementary School on Bon Air Mountain in White County, Tennessee, began a study of the history of the coal mining industry that thrived on the Cumberland Plateau of eastern White County during the late 1800s and early 1900s. The goal of the study was threefold. First, to use the rich history of the era to encourage parent involvement in the school. Second, to build community pride through the study of its history. And third, to provide a higher quality education for students through the study of the community's history. Students took part in learning activities such as interviewing surviving coal miners, participating in school-wide field trips to the mining sites, and listening to surviving coal miners who were invited to tell their stories to the students. Additionally, students participated in projects such as writing and performing a play about the life of the Major League Baseball player Earl Webb. Webb began playing baseball on a team from the coal mining communities and continues to hold the Major League world record for most doubles in a season as a player with the Boston Red Sox. A collection of coal mining artifacts that were donated by miners and their families was started at the school and displayed for public viewing. An annual Coal Miners Reunion was held, which gave surviving miners an opportunity to be recognized, to meet with other miners, to teach sessions about the mining operations, and to have their stories recorded as part of a historical record. After there were no more living miners, the Coal Miners Reunions were continued annually as the Bon Air Mountain History Fair.
I'm going to start, this quit look 1926 now, not today. In 1926, on Groundhog Day, George Rollins moved from Eastland in this big house right here.
In 1995, in order to incorporate the community history of coal mining into the context of the school curriculum, a week was dedicated to studying about mining and subjects related to mining and rail transportation. Courses in social studies, math, history, language arts, and science were developed that featured lessons related to the Bon Air Mountain coal mining operations. These week-long school activities culminated with a field trip for all students to the coal mining sites of Corolla, Ravenscroft, and Eastland. The school's 5th and 6th grade students served as tour guides. The purpose of the field trip was to give the abstract classroom lessons a real-life context by touring the actual sites where the mines operated, with emphasis being placed on the importance of the coal industry in the history of the local mining communities. These field trips at Bondycroft School were continued as an annual event. Realizing the unique learning opportunity for all students in the county, the administration of the school district agreed to expand the Mining on the Mountain tour to all White County 5th grade students. The countywide field trips continue today as an annual event for White County students. The Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis Railway Section House was donated in 2009 to the White County governing body for use by the Bonaire Mountain Historical Society as a museum of the history of the coal mining communities and companies of Bonaire Mountain. The Railway Section House was placed on the National Register of Historic Places by the U.S. Department of the Interior in July 2011. The section house was built around 1904 to house work crews of the railway that served the Bonaire Mountain mining communities, which were a major producer of coal for the state of Tennessee. DeRosset had 5 section houses, a depot, and storage facilities to support the operations of the Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis Railway. The section house retains over 90% of its original design, materials, and workmanship. The DeRosset Section House is a good example of an early 20th century railroad section house and is the only one of its kind still in existence. The DeRosset Section House Museum is home to a comprehensive collection of historical artifacts related to the mining and transportation history of Bonaire Mountain. Since opening in 2009, the museum has welcomed over 1,000 visitors from 14 states. The museum serves as a welcome center to White County for traffic entering from the east on U.S. Highway 70, which is the historic Broadway of America. The section house has 4 rooms, which during the heyday of the railroads were divided to accommodate 2 families in 2 rooms each. It is presently configured with period fireplaces, a bedroom, kitchen, and a room with various displays of historic artifacts, including furnishings that were used in an early 20th century school. At the turn of the 20th century, the 174-foot deep Peerless Mine was sunk on Bonaire Mountain at one of the 4 coal mining communities known as Ravenscroft. All 4 of the coal mining towns on Bonaire Mountain were laid out much the same, with Front Street being the main street of the town. There were schools, baseball fields, company stores, depots, hotels, check offices, barber shops, post offices, doctor's offices, churches, cemeteries, jails known as the Calaboose, way stations, mule barns, and blacksmith shops. The new mining industry created a need for experienced miners. Czechoslovakian immigrants were recruited to come to Ravenscroft to work in the mines and settled in the community known as Glade Creek. In 1904, the railroad was extended from Bonaire Mountain through the railroad section town of DeRosset to Ravenscroft. Ravenscroft was incorporated as a new town in 1908, and residents were able to choose a mayor, recorder, and other town officials. Earl Webb, a Major League Baseball record holder with the Boston Red Sox, and the diplomat and noted journalist Carl Rowan had their roots in the Ravenscroft community. Approximately 25 acres of the Ravenscroft mine site were donated to the White County governing body for use by the Bonaire Mountain Historical Society as a walking trail and historical site of the Ravenscroft Peerless Mine. The Ravenscroft mine was added to the National Register of Historical Places on July 21, 2015. A grant from the Parks and Recreation Division of the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation enabled the construction of walking trails and other improvements for use by the public.
And I'll see you there when we get to Bonner Mountain, and I'll stay in those hills forever and a day. Yes, I'll stay in those hills forever with these memories.